You have brilliant players obviously around you, and everyone, I think from day one, thought about that partnership, that connection that might exist between you and Kevin De Bruyne. Just tell us a little bit about your relationship off the pitch, but on the pitch as well.
Yeah, he's a really calm, good guy. We relax a lot. We joke a lot together. You know how it is in the locker room. You know, with all the guys, it's really nice, and we have a really calm relationship. Joking a lot about the same things, and on the pitch, it's yeah, it's when you watch a football game and you can kind of see yourself in the game. This is what I've been having, for the last, before I came here and so on. Was the kind of thing I was thinking. All the balls that he just shoot in, and no one were there. It's a dream for a striker, and you've been watching at a couple of goals this season. How it is, and this is something you don't need to speak about, because this is something and he knows I will be there, and I know that he will shoot the ball in there in front of the keeper and behind the defense, the most difficult pass to defend against, so this is something you just know.
Talk to us a little bit about two players that are English players who you've played. One plays for Manchester United, one plays for Manchester City. Phil Foden and Jadon Sancho. You've got now good experience of both. Just tell us a little bit about your relationship with Jadon Sancho at Borussia Dortmund, how you work together, what you thought of him, his time at Manchester United, but also how you're enjoying playing with Phil Foden and how that connection's going.
Yeah, me and Jadon, we were really good together. I have to be honest and say that we were good friends in Dortmund, and we played really well together. He gave me a lot of assists in Dortmund, and we shared some nice moments together. So yeah, he's a good guy, and I have a lot of good memories from playing with him. And Phil as well. They were both here together, so they know each other well. Phil is also really good. When he's on the ball, he's so quick and sharp. And the good part is he's still young. This is a good thing. We still cannot forget this, that he can still develop for the next many years. This is also nice. But yeah, what can I say? I look forward playing with him more in the next coming years.
How good can this Manchester City team be?
Yeah, I think Manchester City are already a really good team, and it's about getting out the last kind of things from each other. I think to become even better on this, that, and everything. Mentality to perform against the best teams in Europe. And to really have this kind of winning mentality, to print it in the club, to print it in every staff member, everyone. I think this is the last part we need.
Just on you personally, do you feel pressure? Do you ever get anxious before a game, nervous, or are you always confident? I'm asking the question because this morning I was made aware there's World Mental Health Day in 2 weeks, and I think that you look unbreakable. You look like you're so confident, so resilient, tough going onto the pitch. Do you feel any pressure before a game?
Yeah,
you do?
I'm often nervous, yeah.
You don't look it.
No, but you're normally nervous maybe before the game, but when you come into it, for me, my whole life, I've been kind of using football as a kind of getaway. When I had maybe a bad day at school, or if my father were mad at me, I went to the pitch and then I forgot everything, a bit like this. And this is something I still have, but yeah, I'm nervous, as I think everybody else in this world. We don't have to hide that. I'm nervous, I'm sometimes anxious or whatever, but I think that's a part of life, and I think it's about still being focused while you're nervous, to try to still do the right things even when you're a bit uncomfortable.
Manchester City have won the Premier League multiple times in the last few years, and there's this thing that Pep Guardiola must win the Champions League, and you're the final piece of the jigsaw. Does that make sense to you, or does that bring a pressure to you in any way?
I think the pressure will always be there, no matter what, on footballers. No matter where you play, in Dortmund as well, there's a lot of pressure, 80,000 at every home game, So footballers, we have pressure on every day. We have kind of exam every single weekend. And that's just how that's how my life will be for the next 10, 15 years, But missing puzzle, is, I cannot say too much about this. But my dream is Champions League, to win it.
And in terms of yourself, talk to us a little bit about your heading, because you said your heading didn't used to be very good, but it's improved a lot. How have you worked on it? How have you developed that part of your game?
Yeah, it was when I was in my hometown club Bruyne. I couldn't hit the ball. I was not scared of the ball, but when you're really new to something, it was like, how should I do it? And then I came to Molde with Ole. And he just first thing he said almost was like, "You cannot head. We have to start doing this." And so almost every single day I got crosses from him and Mark Dempsey. Crossing the ball in, I was heading. Mark Dempsey was throwing the ball from just easy. I was standing on 5 meters and he was standing in the goal. Just tried to head it straight. Just like this. So much. And then nothing is better when you practice on something and then you see the results. You can see, oh, it's getting a bit easier, or I finally scored a goal on the head. And then that's also kind of a motivation. Oh, I even want to become better. And it's about, I think with training, some people speak about, you have to train the most to become the best. I don't think it's about training the most. I think it's about training the right things. If I do something if I train on something that's meaningless for me and I become good on that, but I can never prove it or show it in a game, I don't think it's a thing I need, Then training is not so important, but to train on the right things as much as your body and you can handle, I think that's one of the keys. And it's about balancing becoming better and recover to the game and to be sharp for the game.